Okay, this is how to use socks or a band for the pronation drills. I'll show you the band first. If you do use a band, it needs to be somewhat thick. Okay, that's about 1/4 of an inch there. We just don't want those Thayer bands, which are just kind of really flimsy and stretch a lot, where it's barely anything. This one's kind of long, so you just got to get used to it a little bit. We fold it up, and I get my heel, the edge of my heel on there. Okay, I don't want your whole heel on there, okay? Really just the edge of that, because when we tilt the heel bone forward, we're trying to work on foot mobility, right? So when we're working on that and trying to get the arch to kind of flatten out a little bit, that heel bone has to tip forward a little bit to allow space for the arch to flatten. Okay, so what this does is, you can see, if the band's only on the back half of the heel, it's going to just, instead of being here, now it's here. So it's just tilting it forward for us. It's doing half the work for us. Okay. And this one's a little tricky. If you use a band, I do like using bands a little more than the towels if you can. So it's on there, and then you should know the pronation drill. Right, going nice and slow at that pace, getting that arch to flatten a little bit, keeping pressure not into the toes, no curling, heel doesn't pop off, just like that. Okay. In terms of socks, 2 ways to use the socks. Same exact thing. We can put one right behind the heel, but then sometimes I ask you guys to put a sock where the arch is. And while the sock in the back is helping tilt it forward, the sock under the arch is just telling my brain, it's not like a band where it's going to block it, right? You can't push into a band anymore. It doesn't give. And that's probably about a sock that has a little give. So what it's doing is just helping my brain actually feel my arch. Because it's an arch, there's nothing there. Your bottom of the arch doesn't actually feel the ground at all when you're doing things. So having a sock there just brings the ground kind of to it, and now I have sensation. My toes feel right, my heel feels, but my arch doesn't feel. So the sock just helps bring that sensation to my brain as I'm doing this drill, and it gives me a little bit of a reference point when we talk about we're trying to flatten that arch down. It kind of gives me a little something to push back against, right? It gives a little sensation feeling, and that's what we want. Okay, that's what we use a sock. Last position, whether it's sock or band, we use a band, is we talk about right behind the heel. But what we can also do, instead of right behind the heel, we go outside, just to the outside, okay? So still just the back part of the heel. It's a little hard to demonstrate. Good. Just the back part of the heel and outside. So now instead of just tipping it straight forward, it's tilting it forward and in a little bit. And same thing, otherwise everything's the same thing on that pronation drill. So you can see my foot here, I'm pushing it to where it would normally be, and that band just getting a little bit in the way. That's where it would normally be, and now it's kind of pushing me inwards a little bit. Again, just help with ankle mobility and foot mobility.